welcome to another video of mine. This is kind of an exciting one. It's one where I've been working behind the scenes on something that I didn't quite really, broadcast to the masses and about, simply because it's something I've actually been working on for a while. Finally had the time to revisit it and kind of give it some love and put it at least in a production ready state. This is what I'm calling lancer.to, or just Lancer for the short, and it's basically a job board at this point it's just focused solely on freelance jobs. And the idea is you post a job for some money and you get to put your job in these specific categories, whichever they be, and get visibility from contractors around the world, hopefully. So it's very brand new. At this point, you can imagine that the traffic to this site isn't quite, what maybe some other popular job boards are, but I'm trying to kind of get it to that state just by starting to post jobs I find elsewhere manually, and also via like some web scrapers that I've implored. But from that, I can post those jobs, share them on Twitter, share them in our email subscription that's going to go out. It goes out daily and weekly, but weekly by default. And if you are interested in any of this, you could go and subscribe to this. Just enter your email and you should get an email just confirming that. And then I'm still working out a couple bugs with that, but it's very close. But other than that, it's quite simple, straightforward job posting board. You might wonder, if you're following along in my other series, the Ruby on Rails developers Let's Build, where I'm building a similar job board with community and whatnot in mind. You can probably guess that this is some inspiration from that. I thought maybe I could spread that same kind of idea across different spectrums or niches to develop more of a network of job sites. So my thought is, one thing I've learned in the past is if you can enable people to make money or learn something as a product builder or an entrepreneur, you're going to have better luck getting their sale. So in this case, I'm actually targeting employers, but if I can enable freelancers to, apply for these roles or get referred to by this kind of job board, that's going to, ensure employers will come to the site and actually post their jobs here instead of maybe other job sites or sites that only benefit full-time positions mostly. So my thought is, if I can niche down to just freelance-only jobs, we can kind of give those people who are in that freelance stage of their career, if they're consultants or whatnot, just that focused spot of finding only those jobs, as opposed to going and sifting through all the jobs like I've done in the past, from like a feed or whatnot that's either full-time or contract, but you have to be on site, all these kind of stipulations. So my thought is to bring those all into one place, one home, and that's what this is. So lancer.to is a simple job board at this point. I had initial concepts of it being both a community, maybe a job board, and like public place to chat as freelancers, but I don't know if that's something freelancers really want. I don't want to build it just yet until I know for sure this could be something. I feel like if you're going to go to this site looking for jobs, that's going to be the main reason you're here. So I think that part at least I got right. We've only got about 5 categories on the site of job types. I feel like these were pretty decent in the scope of, would probably be mostly online driven work, remote first in a way, and then just trending in terms of freelance. So designers, programmers, whatnot are always looking for side stuff. I think maybe marketers and salespeople too. Of course, writers. I feel like writers are always gig job type of people. That's essentially it. So posting a job on the site's quite awesome in my opinion. Maybe not, but Vue.js app that I've talked about in my other series. Again, if you're watching that right now, it's only in the very early stages, but this is kind of the reason I'm choosing Vue. I've kind of built this prior to. That's what I wanted in a Rails app, but trying to do this in a Rails app is quite tough if you have ever tried. So the multi-step job form, like a form that's advanced but also dynamic. It saves state and does all these things. I feel like it's more of a job for some sort of front-end framework, so I chose Vue.js for this. And it uses combination of local storage, this tricks editor, so it's part of action text in Rails. So if you've heard of that at all, that I've used it in some other videos, but this is that, but it's a Vue port of it, so it's Vue tricks, if you've ever heard of that. A lot of it's just real dynamic and neat. So like if I have the compensation type to per project, we update this real time, and you can just say whatever that would be. This area I would say needs maybe some revisiting at some point. Just the compensation is a tough one, per project, per role. There's always open-ended, I feel like, so I've kind of landed on either per project or hourly for now. If you have ideas or better ways to kind of get that nailed into more of a something freelancers would like, let me know. But yeah, of course, any other feedback you have, I'd love to hear it. But on top of posting a job, you can also make it stand out. So I did this kind of 3-up view of perks you could buy. So they're pretty small ones, but worthwhile. So highlight your listing, highlight it, and display your logo, and then do all those again, but also pin your jobs at the top of the feed for a week. So yeah, or you could just not choose a perk. And then continuing on below, and this, I'll move me if you can see it. When we move, we can we get some navigation back and forth. So that's the beauty of this whole app that is Vue, is I'm able to just kind of jump you around and display things dynamically. So this screen is the preview of your job, so you'd see more details of how you typed maybe your descriptions and details about the job itself. You would normally see a logo here if we added one. We didn't before, but if you did, you could see that. And finally, it's kind of like a checkout experience at the end. We've got order details, the price, of course, and I use Stripe and their new payment intents API, which was quite a doozy to get right, but I finally did, I believe, so we'll see. But a lot of it's super dynamic until you enter, certain details. Will the button actually appear and whatnot? So it's kind of cool. I've got a lot of validations in place, but of course there could be improvements everywhere as they go. So yeah, that's essentially posting a job. I'm not going to post one right now because it's actually live, so I don't really want to pay for my own app at this point. But getting back to the main app, you can see the look and feel of this. I kind of went pretty plain Jane, more illustrative, if I could say anything. These aren't for me. I wish I could draw as well as this, but I did find some open source illustrations to use for these, which turned out pretty great. And I really like the look and feel of everything. When you hover over stuff, they kind of animate in a certain way and whatnot. So I spent some time there kind of getting that nailed down. And then a job detail page kind of looks like this. This right sidebar thing goes with you as you scroll, which is nice. And then we have this nice scroll to top thing because there's a lot of scrolling on the site based on how long job feeds are. But yeah, it's kind of the look and feel of that. It's super simple in the end. You could, most of the apply for this role links, I want you to bring your link to apply. I don't want to build that into this app. So this is more of the place, the network to find freelancers and have contractors come to the site to hire freelancers or get inbound requests for hire to the freelancers. So that's essentially it, other than some admin stuff under the hood, where I actually scrape a few sites right now and get at least some relevant data that I can work with to speed up the process of posting these jobs manually. Since it's so new, I kind of need to do things manually at this point. I can't depend on people just finding it and posting a job. So that's part of the hurdle at this point, is just getting people in the door. So my main goal is going to be marketing channels, getting people to subscribe to these email lists so I can have more people on that list to always send updated jobs to. From there, that hopefully compounds into getting more employers to come to the site posting a freelance job. Like this becomes that place is my goal. That would be great. And aside from that, It's quite simple. Oh yeah, we've got a little bit of RSS feed magic going on, so that's quite nice. I've got it per category for the site. I need to make one that's like the full list still, but it's quite segregated in such a way where if you're just a designer, I doubt you really want to hear about programming or sales and marketing, but maybe you do. I probably would. But yeah, that's about it. I'm just basically at this point unveiling that this is a big inspiration for that other series that I've been doing. And if you're wondering why that was such a, a concept that came to mind, I'm thinking of just branching this out into more of like a network of things, so different niches. This is freelance jobs, that will be Rails and Ruby jobs. Maybe I'll have one that's like, I don't know, JavaScript or marketing only jobs. I don't know, we'll see. But kind of just going by the seat of my pants at this point and just trying things out. So in the past I've had a few app failures, and I think you have to go through 10 or something more of those to get to where maybe one thing sticks and works. So we'll see. This is one of those things. But yeah, I'm excited to share it. Hopefully you guys dig it. I would love feedback if you have any. If I can improve things in any way, I would love to hear that. And yeah, check it out. So coming up, I plan to kind of build, at least borrow some of this stuff for the other Rails series if you're following along with that. So check that out as well if you haven't or are interested in it. We'd love to have you on board. All right. Peace for now.